Huh?
My screen is frozen. Is it frozen on you?
Yeah, it's frozen over here too, so I don't know why.
But you can hear me.
But I
So
can
that's
hear your
cool.
voice.
Okay. That's
Yeah. So let me tell you what happened to me real quick. So this
hmm.
morning I go out there and I'm like the same way. I'm gonna work out outside because I knew it was supposed to be warmer.
Hmm.
So I get out there and I start running up and down my driveway, which is, what I normally do sometimes when it's nice enough to be
My
out
screen
there.
is frozen. Is it frozen on you?
Oh, yeah, it's frozen over here too, so I don't know why. Okay, so all right. All right, I don't know. Let's see. We'll talk for a minute.
See what
Fixed.
happened. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm running up and down the driveway, and so my dog, what I let her do is I let her come out of the fence, and so she kind of goes up and down the street a little bit, and so then she comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I'm coming down back down the driveway. I'm running down there. Now I already get up late, mind you, because last night because of this rash,
Oh
I
no.
had stripped my bed off. And I was washing all of my stuff. And so I wasn't quite done. I just put on a different set of sheets, but I still wanted to put the quilt back on. And so last night I got into bed a little late and I also popped a Benadryl.
Oh yeah. Make you
which
drowsy.
which
Druggy. Low.
so when 4:30 rolls around, I was like, oh no, I can't do it, right? So I figure let me give myself another hour.
Oh
So
wow. You
yeah,
slept. Well, I
yeah.
tried to. I'm sorry.
So I'm coming down to and my dog has this habit of smelling everything, right? Because she can
Mhm.
smell anything. So she's sniffing the ground, and all of a sudden I see her and she puts her face down, which means that she smelled something that she liked. And so she'll put her face down in it and then grind her body through it and then start wiggling her back on top of it. So I'm like, oh, what is this? And girl, I go down there, and why is it some dung, some other animal stuff?
Wow. Really?
Oh, which meant now I gotta, oh my God, and it's white. And she's got this freak of stuff on her
Oh
back.
my gosh.
Ah,
Ew.
so that messed me up.
You got
That
to pour on an
messed me
extra.
up.
I need an extra dose of love right now. Wow.
So yeah, so on top of getting up late, then I had to go and rinse my dog off because she had that
Hmm.
stuff on her back. So but she
That's
does that with a whole bunch of stuff. She'll just, roll around in it and just like I don't know what that is, but sometimes she smells something and I guess she thinks it's perfume.
like, oh, I like this.
All right, so it
Mm.
looks like we're having some kind of difficulty because this is not letting you unstick. And
Want
I
me to
don't know if
go
it's,
out and come back in?
huh?
Want me to go out and come back in?
I'm wondering if I should start this whole thing over again or what, because I can't, yeah, maybe try that. Let's try that first.
Okay.
That'll be the simplest.
Okay.
Yeah. And so while we're waiting on that, I don't know if you guys can see me already or not, because my other screen over here, I guess I could pull out my phone and see what's happening. But my other phone screen over here doesn't reflect that anybody can see me yet. So good morning to you in case you can. And thank you so much for being here. I'm excited. I really yesterday started counting the days, and I think if I'm correct, we are at day 22 if I count it from the Monday after Easter. That would put us at day 22 of doing the anatomy of spirit, and we are still only in chapter 2, so it's not like it's like we've because I'm meandering, as I like to say. We just kind of meander our way through it, and then get to a spot where yes, where we are. Give me a break. Um, so okay, this shows that I'm on. All right, so it shows that on my phone I could see that you can see me. So let's see how Stephanie comes in this time.
Okay.
And she made her entrance where she bounces into her seat again. I can see her.
And my lights were off.
Your lights are off.
Yeah, the light was off when I first was.
Okay. Okay, cool. I have well, as you can see, I got the sun coming up.
I know. Love it. I was saying that to my patients yesterday because everybody was either sitting in front of their patio or something. And I was just like, I just want you to know I appreciate you sitting in the spot you're sitting in because I don't get to see the sunshine. So I appreciate every time I clicked on a appointment and somebody was sitting in front of their window yesterday. It was nice.
Now,
Very.
do you have windows where you are? Can you, or what do you have?
In my office on Rockside I do, but here I'm in the basement. So I just got the one little window, but it's block glass and I mean I can tell that it's daylight, but I can't see the beauty of it until I see the sun shining on people and I'm like, oh, looks so good. But I feel like that's the kiss from God for me because I love the sun and so I get to see it in with you guys.
I am looking for a table. I want one of those pub height tables. I want it square and I want it a certain size because I want to be able to sit out on my back porch and work instead of having to be in here at the desk. And
yeah,
I could hear the birds and
yeah, that's gonna be nice.
Yeah, so I'm looking for that. Meanwhile, I have a ton of stuff to do, and I'm just excited about, just all the stuff that's coming up, and I'm excited for summer. I'm excited
I'm
for
so excited.
yeah, it just and sometimes I ask myself, why isn't this all year? Like, why don't we have why aren't I in a place where I have sunshine and blue skies all the time? Right? I deserve that. Okay, so my overhead light is not on. So
lights. If we were number players, I guess we would play lights.
yes, I don't even know what the number for lights is.
I don't either.
But you know what? When I was looking through when I was packing stuff up here the other day, I noticed that I have I think in the midst of my book somewhere is one of my mother's old numbers book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure I have.
Does that have definitions in it? Like it tells you what they mean? The numbers book?
It just tells this was my mom's.
Okay. I was gonna say I was thinking dream book too, because I've just found my dream book the other day.
Yeah.
Does it tell you like what numbers mean, Sandy, in there?
Yeah, it tells you the corresponding number to a particular, these are names or it's got all kind of stuff in here, but I don't exactly
like a treasure chest.
I don't exactly know how it works, but I just saw it the other day and I was like, I'll be darned, look at this. And I know it was my mother's because my mother used to use these things like it was a Bible. She would go in there and look up stuff. It says $1.50 right on the thing. But she would go in this thing for any and everything because of course everything you dream's got a number to it. But I never really looked at it. So maybe there is a reason that I found it, and I need to really look at that. Um, so this is names and this is dreams, and then it looks like it has a horoscope section in the back.
Wow.
Yeah, first and last names. That's interesting because I had a dream the other day. And as I was dreaming, I was thinking to myself, whoever this is I was dreaming about, I didn't know.
Okay.
And so I thought that that was odd. And I couldn't even relate their energy to somebody I knew. But now I can't think for the life of me what that dream was about. But it was a rather intense dream. And I happened to have to wake up and go to the bathroom in the middle of it. And that's kind of why I was like thinking, oh, who stuff is this? So let me turn on my overhead. I have on my camouflage shorts, so I was trying not to my
Get
biker
up.
shorts. Yeah, I didn't really want to get up, and I don't know that that helped either. All right. Anyway, so I am so glad to get back into the anatomy of the spirit, and I don't know about you, but when we start studying stuff like this comes up,
Right.
right? It's always, yeah, it always just kind of, life begins to teach you what you need to know about the material
I
too.
can't wait till we start studying about money.
Yeah, yeah. That would be interesting though too, because there is I was thinking about what book we would do after we do this one. If you're
Is that really true?
uh,
I said, is that true? Are you actually doing that?
yeah, I pulled out Eric Butterworth's
Never
uh,
heard that name before.
spiritual economics.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the name of it. Now, this other woman's book on money is pretty good. She is current day. Um, what is her name? Give me a second. Maybe she's not in here. Oh, but you know what? Sherry James has a book that she just wrote on economics out of California. I'm wondering if she could send us a couple of copies
Okay. That's a
we
minister, right?
yeah, yeah. But there
Yeah.
are quite a few books on the spirituality of economics. As a matter of fact, I have not, even though Marianne Williamson is like my favorite of the people who have been impactful in my life, I have not read her book on money.
I didn't even realize she had a book on money.
She does.
That would probably be really good because she's going to incorporate, not that anybody else doesn't,
Mhm.
but you know that she's going to incorporate, I'm assuming, the Course of Miracles principles. And
Right. Mhm.
yeah, yeah, that would be yummy. I'll look into
But according to the Course in Miracles, according to A Course in Miracles, the idea of planning anything is says that you don't trust the universe to give you exactly what you need. So planning is a fear-based type of thinking. So it's really interesting, the dynamic when you think about how much we plan, whether it is putting up dream boards or sketching out our day. The Course in Miracles would view that as a plan against against trust. Planning is to not trust.
So it's interesting that you would say this because, I feel like my life is magical. This is my second time yesterday and now this morning to hear. First, it was the Course in Miracles and about not planning and that what planning represents. That was yesterday. And then here you just said it again today. And so my fear-based thought that I believe has attracted this message to me is that I was feeling like I need to figure out a time where I can get my goals written down and put a timeline on it. And I literally have been vibrating in that space of, I got this Rubbermaid container with all these things that I've cut out that I need to put them on this board. And I have been after myself about
Uh-huh.
getting it done and getting it done and getting it done. And so then yesterday I heard something from Gabby Bernstein that shared the same message about planning and what it represents from an energetic standpoint. That was
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. And I received it and I heard it and I was like, okay, but I didn't have like a complete piece that just chill out. You good. Just do what you do. And then here you are this morning.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that is so yummy. Like, that is so my life. But that's all of our lives if we pay attention. But
Right.
that is so good to hear again.
Yes.
Something to,
Reaffirmation.
yeah, yeah, just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that I could provide that for you.
Thank you.
So but yeah, so I would be really curious to see what Marianne's book does say about money when you put it in that context, because one of the things that she says often is that when she first started doing her Course in Miracles talks and going around and doing stuff, she was like, this was not a career path or a choice
Right, right.
person can make. It was something that she started doing. And then it's like, voila, oh, now I'm doing it and people are paying attention. Now I'm doing it and I'm making money. Now I'm doing it. And, you know, and so she was like, this wasn't a career path. And so, how do you plan for something that does not exist? So it becomes this thing of when you do what you do, the universe makes room for you.
Mm,
It's not that you are gravitating and say, I want to be this or I want to, it is do what you love, do what you do, and not try to but I'm not going to tell you what her book says because I haven't read it.
yeah, yeah. We may be both wrong. They're surprised and delighted. But
Yeah, I could tell. I know some stuff in the Course in Miracles. I know
right.
everything in the Course in Miracles, but I know some stuff out of the Course in Miracles, and I know that planning is something that is just like, yeah,
That is
yeah,
so good to know. Thank
yes.
you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
faith is just being present and being in the moment. So that's what so stay in faith thing. And then the other thing is that I think that what was in my dream for some reason, when I think about it, is something had to do with this idea of it seemed like it had something to do with doing exactly what you love, but I'm not for sure. It's almost like it's playing back with me back there somewhere. All right, let's pray. Let's pray. Let's pray. Okay, today you can pray for us today.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. All that is, Mother, Father, God, life, universe. Thank you for the amazing full moon for the last 2 days and all that it does with the waters and the oceans and the cleansing of our planet. Thank you for paradigm shifts and thank you for new birth. Thank you for summer show enough coming finally, at least this next couple of days. So thank you. All that is, I just want to acknowledge that life is good and good to us and good for us. And I thank you for the shifts. I thank you for awakenings. I thank you for provision and just the willingness to be in this space right now for everybody and anybody that shows up on in this space whenever they show up in this space. Thank you for the willingness to just gather and collaborate together. And I'm excited. I'm excited and thank you. And so be it.
And so be it.
Mhm.
Amen, amen. Thank you, thank you. So so one of the things that was really interesting to me was after this COVID shot, I I went through the all the regular getting sick little thing for 5 hours. But what has persisted for me is this like soreness in my throat. And I don't even want to call it a soreness. It's kind of like a scratchiness in the back of my throat, to the point where I know it's there. And so, of course, this throat chakra is a very important chakra, especially to me,
Mhm.
because like it or not, this is a central part of what I do. So we think about the heart chakra. Yes, the heart chakra is amazing, and out of it, all these issues come up and they flow into the world. That's my center of love, and it's where when I drop my thoughts into it, it cleanses and transforms. But I am also one who I would you know how you talk to some people um and people process things differently. So somebody might tell me that they're an introvert, and what I know or have learned about introverts is that they rehearse things in their head,
Mm.
and they kind of get an idea of, on an internal level, does this sound right or feel right, or or is this right, before it comes out of their mouth.
Mhm.
For me, my thinking happens as I speak. As
Mm.
a matter of fact, I don't even know that I'm conscious of thinking prior to it. I hear myself and it's like, oh, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, and I sort of say that in that I think that a large part of what I do is guided. And it used to be that I would hear things, like that intuitive part of me. It used to be that I would hear things and then I would say it. Now I think I hear simultaneously as I speak.
Okay.
So so for me, the heart chakra is, I mean, the throat chakra is like central to me. It is really important. And so as I was trying to drift off to sleep last night, it was one of those things that it was still bothering me. And this morning when I got up and I sat down to do my meditation, I thought, let me, as I'm doing my meditation, make sure I'm doing a body scan to sort of clear my energy as I'm going downward. And so I'm giving thanks for my crown and for my third eye. And then as I come on down, it was as if I was thinking to myself, like, nothing that somebody say for instance you put into this thing called body. Our bodies are designed to be powerfully and to transform matter, just
Mhm.
like we talk about that we have the ability to do. But my body is just like this, I think, is the microcosm. The world is the macrocosm.
Mhm. I
So
like that.
everything
Mhm.
that I see on the macro level is also happening on the micro level.
That's good.
This is my universe. I don't know how many planets are in the solar system, but I got planets within me. And so when you introduce something into my system, it may take a moment, but my body is processing it. I think that one of the ways that we see this, and people have marveled at it over and over again, is as an oyster. Oysters, right? I love oysters. But the way that they make pearls is by taking a tiny bit of dirt or something and putting it inside of the oyster, like a little bitty thing. And the oyster then begins to make that so that it is not it to take all the edges off and to make it okay. And so it excretes this stuff, and and as it builds or as it grows, it creates around it a shell that is a pearl.
Hmm.
That's how we get pearls. And so just like a oyster transforms a piece of dirt into a pearl, my body has to, and it may take what we call time, but my body also transforms things to, that are introduced within it. So if it's this virus or if it's anything else, it's like, okay, let's process this to see what it's going to be like. And then it might come out as excrement, might come out as something else, or we might just have to figure out how to develop some scar tissue around it so it doesn't interrupt the process that is already in order.
Mm-hmm.
So I, I recognize that the sore throat after the COVID or the other, I trust that my body will do whatever it needs to do in order for me to be at optimal, right? I'm blessing it. And I think that that's one of the things that we all can do, is to bless our body to perform at its optimum in spite of whatever stuff may come up
Mm-hmm.
within it. And so and in order to help it do that, we have got to help it by making sure that it has the circulation,
Mm-hmm.
because
Okay.
circulation is important.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get circulation? Circulation is movement. And so we've got to participate in the movement. We got to participate by drinking more water and getting the fluids in and getting food that it doesn't have to struggle to metabolize. I mean,
All movement, by the way.
yeah, all of it is.
Water is movement. Your eating is movement. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to be participants, that and so it's kind of like we can just say, okay, here, handle it. but
Who?
but
No.
yeah, but there is a part of us that, we gotta help. We gotta help. So, some people do more work on their cars than they do on their body,
Oh, it's so true.
you know you'll put gas in that, you'll put oil in that, you'll do what was required to get it circulating correctly. And a car, you could just go and get another one if it breaks down. But your body,
I know.
you gotta make sure that you're participating, that you are, yeah, in the flow. So
Definitely the flow.
yes, that is so important. So yeah, all of that is coming up for me. Oh, good morning, Nasia and Gretchen.
Good
Gretchen, hey,
morning.
good morning. Oh, thank you. Thank you. She says, good morning, beauties.
Oh, good morning. And thank you. And same to you.
Yes, yes, yes. They are beautiful. Thank you so much. So and I had my thing down, so I'm sorry, I didn't even see that until just now. Yeah, because I'm having issues with that screen. So I just think that, yeah, all of this is coming up because it needs to be something that we kind of thrash out and think about in the process of this. So, um, yesterday I left off when we were talking about, I was saying the stuff that we don't pay attention to is just as important as the things that we do pay attention to. So we were talking about, the divine energy is inherent in our biological system. Every thought that crosses our mind, every belief we nurture, every memory in which we cling, translates into a positive or negative command to our bodies and to our spirits. And so,
Yes.
since most of us have had negative information around sexuality, whether and the funny thing is that especially when we're younger, we have a hard time discerning the difference between what happens before you get to the altar and after you get to the altar. And so there has been this guilt trip that all of a sudden, once you say I do, then it's okay for you to have a body, but that body is only belonging to, or that union of bodies, your bodies together is what you do in the context of a marriage and not outside of it. So before marriage, dead body. After marriage, you're supposed to come alive and be there for your mate. But then it's like, wonder if, we've got, so it's all of that. It's all of that. And that confusing message. I used to, when I would tell y'all the truth. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth because the truth shall set you free. So I'm gonna tell y'all, I was like, I used to read the Judy Blume book,
Which
Dear
one?
God, It's Me, Margaret.
Okay.
Yeah. And this little girl, Margaret, would write letters to God. This was way back in the day. Anyway, I used to have conversations with God just like that before Conversations with God came out. And I wonder what Neil Donald Walsh's conversation with God was like. But mine would be like, okay, God, if you are a God, why would you make me have these feelings, right? Why would you give me this body? Why would you allow me to go through this if all you were going to do is just smack my hand and say, no, not that, right? Why? I mean, if I was taught that you are not a deceiver, why torment me with the question of sex and sexuality? I would be praying some earnest prayers about this stuff. And you know what's the funny thing was? Is that I finally got God saying to me, yeah, that ain't me. like, like, yeah, you got all of those messages, but that wasn't me telling you that,
Mm,
right?
mm,
And so when people figure out that I am not like the traditional person, um, I think, and I don't know that people give themselves permission to have that type of exchange or to draw their own conclusions. People don't have that permission, and so they don't. As a matter of fact, they want to say to me, you can't either. And I'm saying, yeah, I can.
mm.
And nothing has come down. As a matter of fact, the sun is shining right on me. Nothing is coming down to strike me down, to say, oh no,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have got to have the audacity to pray and to trust that what we pray about receives an answer.
Mm-hmm. And to live out loud.
Yeah. And to know that it's filled here's, my thing too is it's filled with light, love, and wisdom of the highest.
Mm.
And so this, but that doesn't get us beyond or around this, the struggle that we go through, because the struggle is real.
Real.
I mean, it's real because people want to reaffirm all the time the messages that we've been given throughout the years. People want to reaffirm that. I mean, perfect strangers will come up to you and say things to you. And it's like, you know, oh, I
Because people
reject
want
that.
to feel safe, and if they feel safe in the norm, and the information that they've been given has been given to their safety keepers, given to them from their safety keepers, the gatekeepers, their parents, authorities, and teachers. And so the desire to like have it nice, it's an unconscious sometimes thing, but everybody wants to put it back so I can be safe. Can you just get back in line so I can feel safe? Like, help to manage and regulate my anxiety, will you? Like, just follow the rules so I can not be anxious. And so it's people who are just, they're typically looking for safety. It's like falling. It's like, you know, they're actually bracing themselves when other people step out of line.
Mhm.
It's really interesting to watch the dynamics of that and to pay attention for even for yourself. Like, when
Right.
you do.
And so Gretchen brings up that she was raised in a small town, right? And sometimes it seems like small towns where everybody knows you as well as your parents.
Like Cleveland? No.
You say like,
I said like Cleveland.
oh, but you
Growing
know,
up in here felt like a small town to me.
really. So,
Oh yeah.
so I don't know that. I remember. I'm gonna tell y'all, my mother was a trip. My mother was a hellion. I mean, people were scared of my mom, and I was too. And I, I had this thing where I would cut school. I would cut school and be hanging out with my friends. I, I ain't never been a good girl. Never followed the rules. I used to think like, oh, what's the rule? Okay, got it. Let me go break that. I was like that. I was that kid. So anyway, I don't even know if it was that intentional, but it was. That was just kind of how it was. And I'm still like that. That's the funny thing is I'm still like that. It's like, what was that guy? All right, let me see. I'm still like that. So thank God for that. But anyway, I remember my mother coming in, and she she sat down, and she had this little wig. I look just like my mother. I'm a light-skinned version of my mom. All right, that's what I always tell people. She was darker. I'm the light-skinned version of her. Look just like her. But I remember she came in and she sat down, and she had this tendency to cross her legs, and then she would swing her foot when she crossed her legs. I don't know that I could do that, but that's what she would do. She would. And so she sat there and she was like, she's looking at me and she says, Sandy, somebody told me that they saw you today over on St. Clair when you were supposed to be in school. And I thought, ooh, right? I didn't, but poker face, poker face, poker face. And I said, really? And she was like, yeah. And she says, people make mistakes all the time. She would talk just that slow. She said, people make mistakes all the time. And she said, so I'm gonna just assume that they had it wrong. She says, but when I see you, you gonna know I have it right, because I'm gonna jank your ass right there. She says, and I will whoop your butt all the way home from St. Clair. Now we staying over here off my house. I will whoop your butt all the way home from St. Clair. So now I'm like the Pink Panther when I was cutting. I'm like looking. Because my mother was not the way. If she told you she was going to do something, she would do it. So she wasn't the one to play. If so, I'm sure she told people, well, you call me when you see her. Because she will leave. She is that type. She will leave work. Come find me. But girl, my mother had me terrified, terrified. So while I'm sure the 3,000, the small town of 3,000 that Gretchen's talking about, or even, what you're saying is a little different, because I used to cut and I would go all the way, downtown or over and, in St. Clair, or we going over on St. Clair to get a Polish boy. Girl, don't even ask me. It was just what we did because we could, I guess. No sense whatsoever. Just as long as we were back on that bus and coming home by the time we were supposed to show up, it was just what we did. And so, but yes, my mother put the fear of God in me. She was just like, oh, I'm gonna get you. That was her thing. She was like, she don't, people will either mistake your identity or have different reasons for telling you particular things. But she was like, I'll get you, and when she said stuff like that, you can doubt it. My one brother, the one that passed, she gave him a form and she says, I want you to have every one of your teachers sign this when you walk into the classroom. And she says, and if you miss a day, right, and I don't know about it, she says, I will be up there. And she actually did. She went up there one day. She only had to do it once, and she walked him to his classes. And when the people saw her in the hallway, it was like, my brother was like, yeah, from now on, he graduated on time. Because my mother did not play. She really did not care what nobody was going to say about her and her kids, right? She was going to make sure. Oh my gosh, she was going to make sure that we were doing what we were supposed to do. You only got to get embarrassed one time.
Right.
By my mama. Yeah, that woman, bless her heart, bless her heart, bless her heart. So, so the messages that I think we get, positive or negative, are stuff that comes into our system, and sometimes it can stay there and it colors our perception about ourselves, our bodies, the world in we exist in. And sometimes it creeps in even after, like, say for instance, you were married or something like that. Just because somebody has told you that it's okay in the sanctity of marriage doesn't mean that now all of a sudden you'd make the flip and say, ooh, body good now.
Right.
Sometimes those things kind
Our
of still,
biography is our biology.
yes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, it still informs the way that we interact and we deal. So she says, she goes on to say, it's magnificent to see ourselves through this lens, but it's also intimidating because no part of our lives or thoughts is powerless or even private.
Private.
I love that. Course in Miracles also says that there are no private thoughts. We are biological creations of this divine design. And once this truth becomes a part of your conscious mind, you can never again live an ordinary life. So I tell you, that is one of those things that I thought was just amazing and good. So yeah, it's wonderful. So now we are entering into a section of the book called the symbolic power of the 7 chakras. And yesterday I showed a diagram of the chakra system and talked about the first chakra, the which we call the root chakra, that is symbolically located where your rectum is, right? And the second chakra, here in here, I just noticed, huh?
Is it considered, is that the sacral chakra? It doesn't say that in this book, so I didn't know.
Right. I don't think so, but because I wanted to say that the third chakra, I thought they called it the sacral chakra. I think that, but I don't know. I'll have to look and see. Because I don't think that that is a word that she uses here. But the second chakra is what does sacral mean?
Oh, you doing it? I'm like, I can look it up. I said, are you looking it up?
Okay, so I misspelled it, but here it is. The sacral chakra. And okay, it is. Okay, the sex chakra. Okay, yes. The
It's the
social
orange one.
Yeah. Okay. So yes. Thank you very much. That is okay. So one and the same. So that's the second. Okay. So the first chakra, they call it the root chakra. In here, I guess you could use it interchangeably. You could call it the sacral chakra. In here, she has in parentheses her special abode.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Her special abode. And so each of these chakras resonates to something different. So, and every one of them has a different interpretation. And so we will go through and talk about these as we, and each of them have a color associated with them. So it is the red for the root, orange for the sacral. Is it
It's yellow for the solar plex chakra,
okay?
green
Yeah,
heart,
for the
blue for
yeah.
our throats, and then indigo for here, and then the white line.
Right. So
And
and
each
what's
chakra has a
interesting,
key too, Sandra. I'll find it for next week. I mean for tomorrow.
okay.
They each have a note. Everyone has
Oh,
a
on
tone
the
that
piano
goes.
or
Yeah,
drum? Okay.
yeah. So I'll get clear, like for sure which ones are which on by tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, I won't know. But for a person who is musical, I guess that would really matter, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
A musical person, yes, that would absolutely matter. I have a girlfriend, Crystal, who does a lot of toning work. She
Yeah.
uses
Okay.
tuning forks. But even those are resonated. I don't know for sure, but she has them named according to the angel they
Mm.
represent. So whether it's the angel Gabriel or
Michael.
yeah, they all have different energies and stuff. And so she will do a clearing on your chakras based on those. So I don't know if it's a key, but maybe it is a key. And let me share this too, because when I used to meditate, one of the things that I used to feel is that everybody has a vibrational frequency. And so sometimes when I dream, say for instance, I don't dream and see a particular person. I see their frequency, or I know their frequency, their vibrational energy. And so I tell that it is them by their vibration, how I feel in their presence. And so it may look like one person, but it is actually vibrating as somebody that I may know.
Okay.
Yeah. So and so the mind has an interesting way of processing that information, especially when you're in a dream state. So and so I think that I don't know for sure, but I think that my vibration is really sometimes so high pitched that it becomes hard for people to receive sometimes. I used to, there was when I was doing, I was working with a spiritualist group, and I would talk, and then sometimes I would just say, okay, let me stop, and then ask everybody, just take a deep breath. And and it was so funny because you don't really know that you're not breathing, consciously breathing, until somebody points out to you that you're not consciously. And so it's like this collective, like, and now, okay, let's go back in. Right. Yeah, it's just really weird how that happens. I don't understand it. All I know is wow, I've done it to myself. It's funny how that works. But everybody has that. Everybody has a vibe. Okay, so let me for a second here. And y'all, I don't necessarily like reading to y'all, but I do. But it's kind of like the way that I can do this to make sure I'm not just skipping over something. So she says Eastern religions teach that the human body contains 7 energy centers, which is what we just talked about. Each of these energy centers contains a universal spiritual life lesson. Remember the curriculum that we talked about yesterday. A universal spiritual life lesson that we must learn as we evolve into higher consciousness. Only after I had been conducting regular intuitive evaluations for many years did I realize that I had been instinctively focusing on these 7 energy centers. This sacred ancient imagery is remarkably accurate in its depiction of the human energy system, its habits, and its tendencies. So the chakras are vertically aligned, running from the base of the spine here. We can point to the anal region, to the crown of our head, suggesting that we ascend towards the divine by gradually mastering the seductive pull of the physical world. So the root chakra, which keeps us rooted into this human experience all the way up through the divine. So she gives a brief summary here of the spiritual life lessons that we are going to be talking about as coming up. So the first chakra is related to the material world. Second chakra, lessons related to sexuality, work, and physical desires. Sounds juicy, doesn't it? Ooh, but yeah, it's that it can be one of the most difficult things to traverse, because it is such a natural animal instinct, right, that can pull us astray without us even knowing it. Let me tell y'all this story real quick. I had a friend of mine who talked about that he had met a woman, and this woman, the way he made it sound, you know how guys are, he made it sound like it was one of those, come hither, come to me, come to me. And so he took up with her, basically just allowing himself to fall up under his spell, under her spell. And he said one day, and it seemed like this was an intense thing that was happening really quick, but he said that they were in the bed and they were doing the do. And he says that he lifts himself up and he says the face that he saw was not of that woman, but basically he realized that he was sleeping with the devil. And he says it's just like one of them things that just, he had to get up and put on his clothes and run for the door, because he was like, what the vision that he saw was just jarred his soul. And a lot of times what people have done is they get caught up in the moment without realizing that they are about to write a check that they can't, they can't cash. So what we do with our energy matters, right? Because just like what we put in our body matters. So you would not just purposely drink some poison or purposely drink something that you knew might have a bad effect on you. I'll never forget. I was so traumatized by something when I was younger. Somebody had poured some stuff into this little cup. You know how they had those little medicine cups. And I used to, as a kid, you do any old thing. And I took this cup and I drank it real quick. And my grandmother comes out there and she was like, what happened to that stuff? And I said, oops, right? That was my thing. Oops. And what happened to us, Andy? I drank it. And she says, that poison. And I was, really? It didn't taste like poison. And so then I went someplace and I sat and I was just waiting to die. And I couldn't understand why nobody was helping me, because I was about to die. But I just felt like I just drank some poison and I'm gonna die. I mean, I was traumatized behind that. As you could tell, I'm still telling the story, right? I was a little kid, but I was thinking I was gonna die. Come to find out, it was the stuff, the plant food that you put in plants, and she measured it out to put it in the water, and I drank it. And then she told me it was poison. I don't know why do adults do crazy stuff? Right?
So you won't ever do that again.
It worked. It worked. Yeah, but
she been somewhere in her prayer closet and just prayed, like, Lord, please don't let this hurt my baby.
I had to tell them, I went over to my cousin's house, and they're over there, and somebody said something about one of the kids, the little boy. They was like, oh, he's gonna grow up to be gay, right? And and they're kind of talking about it, and his mother was saying that she was raising her kids not to have those those gender binary types of things. And she was like, but that doesn't mean he's going to be gay. And they were like, well, but kind of trying to make it seem like the little kid had gay tendencies already, whatever. And I started talking about how when I was a kid, I wanted to be a boy. I wanted to be a boy so bad. And I think I've told this before, because my father told me that when I can kiss my elbow, I would turn into a boy. And so I tried for the longest to kiss my elbow. That became a thing for me. Like I was going to, work out and stretch and stuff so I could get it, like just because I wanted to be a boy so bad. But you see, I grew out of that. I definitely
Your femininity.
femininity. So
Sometimes life
yeah,
make you not have no choice. It's like, look, get it together.
right. So yeah. So sexuality is one of those things that we'll spend some time unpacking. And if you guys have anything in particular, as far as needing some healing around sexuality or your sexual energy, you can always inbox Stephanie or I, and we will try to drill
Let's get that
down
free.
on. Yeah.
I said, let's get that free.
Yeah. Right. So
There's so much that comes out of that. I mean, she even has work, and I'm sure if we research it, there'd be a lot of more people expounding upon that. But even work, as in that area, it even relates to work, which says to me that my work that I choose needs to be that of the highest amount of pleasure, of bliss.
Yeah.
Of blissfulness means that energy is actually, that area of my life is actually working at its fullest capacity too. That means I can evaluate my work life. So if I'm not okay in my work life, that's the area of the sacral chakra where it's the energy is lower, and we do your work in that area, you begin to expand your bliss for where you work, or you start to work in an area that brings you bliss.
Yeah.
So it's not just the even sex, it's just what that work be pleasure. Can you imagine a society where work is pleasure, the energy, the vibrational lights of a factory without the machines going, when people show up to work in a bliss?
But the other thing that resonates to the sexuality is and this is one of the reasons why this question of potency is so important, because people are our sex, especially for men and for women, is directly tied to our finances too. I heard this comedian one time, yeah, because when men have money issues, they also will have potency issues, right, or erectile issues. And so those things are closely tied together. But I heard this comedian say, when they came out with what's the little blue pill called?
Viagra.
Viagra, yeah. When he said they came out with Viagra, and they was like, started talking about getting a pill like that for women. He was like, they were always talking about getting some medicine for women. He was like, they already have something like that for women. It's called cash.
That's that prostitute archetype. Whatever.
But Eddie Murphy did the whole thing on that too. Like, Eddie, I want half. He was talking about the same thing, that that there is this tie between sex and money that is just, it just is there. And so all of that is in that second chakra. So sexuality, work, and then physical desires. The third chakra is related to the ego, the personality, and to self-esteem. Right. And so say for instance, as we're going up, if you have blockage in a particular area, it sort of doesn't allow you to graduate, right? And so when you see people with stunted or arrested development, they get stuck in a particular area and are not able to get to that higher dimension. So where would you be stuck, or where? And here's the other thing, because sometimes it's not even, sometimes it's that we just go to sleep in certain areas.
And
So
when we sleep, it's still like a little heartbeat. It's not like it's
yeah,
black. You
right.
have little, it's still an energy center that's still beeping its little heart, but it's not lit up as like the sun. It's like a little light.
So and that was one of those things when I talked about the other day, Claire Freeman talking about that book, Jitterbug Perfume, and that woman in there. That was one of the things that was really interesting to me, was just the way that the woman in the book was characterized. When I read it in a tarot book, it says that people who are alive in that particular area, when you say, for instance, you got a little light and it's just beeping, or a little heartbeat that's in there that's just kind of waiting, and kind of like your computer, when you walk away from it
Right.
goes to sleep, right? And
Yes,
then
very good. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then there's something, all you got to do is touch and it just wakes it up.
Yeah.
So there are people who, when they are awake in that kind of way, they start to wake you up. Even if it's not necessarily for them, it is their energy, their essence is so strong in that particular area. They cause you to be like, whoa, what am I missing here?
Right, right.
Um,
Yes, I
so
know.
yeah, so when they say enliven people, when you have your energy up, it automatically activates others around you.
I love
That's juicy.
it. It is.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Yeah,
good. It's
I
true.
hope y'all
That's
are.
why it's so good. It's because it's
Yeah,
true.
right. So if what you need, if you're stuck in one area, in the area of just dealing with your sexuality and ego, or your sexuality and work, you don't even get to the point where you are then moving into that third chakra area that you're dealing with ego, personality, and self-esteem. And so you're not developing that. Remember, this is a curriculum, right? And we're graduating one level to the next. So where are you stuck? The fourth chakra is related to, that's the heart chakra, love, forgiveness, and compassion. But if you are, hey Faith, if you are stuck in ego and personality, you're not at the point where you are dealing with love. And so
Passion.
right, right. So we are trying to help as we maneuver. Like, look, I'm saying help. All of us are going through this,
Oh,
right?
yes. Yes.
This is a life
Yes.
course, it's a curriculum.
Yeah.
And so all of us are going through it. So I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm through the roof already.
But
Sometimes
you could
like
be in 12th grade.
oh, I don't even need to stake claim to that, because
I know. I'm just joking.
I'm just really just trying to, you learn what you teach. That's one of the things
That's the truth.
Miracle says over and over again. What you teach, you learn. And so, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I got all the answers and all of that stuff. But what I do know is that there are certain things that, some of us are working on, and there's certain things that we're not. And so sometimes we need to backtrack and go down there and say, oh, let me clean this up a little bit,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Why? This guy used to say, all it takes is a little polishing. You just got to polish it, right? So sometimes you just got to go back and polish something that you may have skipped over, so that you can clean that up and then move on to other areas. Then the fifth chakra is related to the will and self-expression.
Mm-hmm.
Will and self-expression.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and sometimes when you can feel yourself. So let me say this to you. When we read the Bible, one of the first things that we knew about God is that God spoke this universe into being.
Mm-hmm.
So this idea of
Yes.
speaking is a creative power that each and every one of us has.
And
And
we are
so,
an expression of that.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Let me say, my voice was in the chorus when it said, "Let there be." My voice
Yes,
was a
I like
part of
that.
that,
Yes.
right? So we
Yes.
have to recognize that this is a powerhouse that we have right here. And so we have the ability to put our will into the universe through our spoken word. So please do not sit
Oh,
there and act as if you are less than. You have to speak your word for the height where you want to be, not like maybe one day. No. Right here and right now, we have to make our declarations, and we do that through this chakra. Oh
and
my
even if the
gosh.
declaration is that I am willing to shore up my root area, I'm willing to shore up my sacral area, even if the language is that, if that's what you got, bring it forth
Yes.
so that
Yes.
the bottom energy circles can begin to expand and lighten up. Speak
Mm-hmm.
that life into those areas that appear to you to be dead or dry or wherever. Speak life into those things. Use it for that, to express the life, so that
Yes.
those areas, because it's important that our hearts and our sacral chakra, those lower chakras, be illuminated, exercised, and loved, because that's what comes out of here. And when that is not happening, then what comes out of here begins to create things that we don't really want.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not
Yes.
being in
Yes.
alignment. Yeah.
Yes. So true. So, so that is, where was that?
The fifth chakra, the throat
Yeah,
chakra.
yes, the fifth chakra. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I got so distracted because my device in there started saying, "This is your reminder." I didn't realize it was at 8:30.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. That was yummy
yes, and
then. This was a good time.
yeah, we have to get off of here, but let me do the sixth and the seventh, because all we're doing is giving an overview. So the sixth chakra is related to the mind, the intuition, insight, and wisdom, right? And we have to really learn how to pay attention, because even in this, when we talk about mind, intuition, insight, wisdom, um however, so I would include in that dream interpretation too, the wisdom that we receive through our dreams, that subconscious mind that resonates and speaks to us as we slumber. And then you wake up with the idea like, okay, that's something that I have to recognize and know that there is something that is playing out through that. So that sixth chakra is all of that. The seventh chakra is lessons related to spirituality. That is its realm right there. And that is up here.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, I am so these seven chakras are you know, are basically that. She says so if we ignore our responsibilities and need to address consciously these seven spiritual lessons, however, their energy can manifest itself in illness.
Illness.
Right? Indeed, many Eastern spiritual traditions understand illness to be a depletion of one's internal power or spirit. The congruencies among major spiritual traditions underscore the universal human experience of connection between the spirit, body, illness, and healing. And so if you have if you got issues in any particular area, that's one of the things. Like I said, inbox me if you've got something that you in particular need to deal with, whether it is a thought, thought form. If you've got some illness that you think is taking up root in your body, if you've got something that doesn't quite feel right, we are, let us support you in that.
Yes.
You know, yeah, we want to be able to support you in that particular area, and agree with you in your
Yes.
own healing,
Mhm.
knowing that you have the power already within you. So we are all about, and not just getting this material, but working it.
Working it, living it, breathing it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny Coleman used to say, it works if you work it, but if you
Yeah.
don't, it won't.
Yes.
So it's a really, to me, it sounds like a really simple lesson to get. It works if you work it. And so being conscious, doing the work is so vitally important. So don't sleep on it. All right. So you guys, I thank you so
Good.
much for being
So much.
here. I thank you for this time. Stephanie, thank you for joining me as always. It's
Yummy. Thank
lovely,
you.
lovely, lovely. Thank you so much. Gretchen, Faith, Nacia, Erica. Erica probably wasn't here because she usually has something to say if she's here. Um,
Oh, I would love to hear what she has to say.
yeah. Yeah, she
And I
is.
mean it. No. All right.
Um,
Thanks, everybody. Like, I appreciate this amazing time so much. So much.
mhm. All right. So the light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God, wherever you are,
Mm.
watches over you. Wherever you are, wherever you are on this wonderful planet, God is in its fullness right where you are. So we thank you. We bless you, the energy that is you, the life that is you. And we will see you here at the same time tomorrow. All right. Have a great
You
day.
too. Enjoy. Bye bye.
Yay. Hey, Everett, and Faith. So you can always watch the replay. Sorry that, yeah, sorry you guys were late, but you can stay and watch. Yep. Anyway, have an amazing day. It's supposed to be 80 here in Cleveland, and the sun is out, is bright, is shiny, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this. All right. So love y'all. See ya.